welcome back to my channel. My name is Mia and I run Sticky Kitten Crafts. I'm super excited you're here today because I wanted to walk you through all of my 2025 business goals. So in my last video, I talked a little bit about some of my goals as we were talking through some of the metrics that I saw within my business over the last year in that 2024 wrapped video. If you haven't watched that video, definitely go check it out. It was a fun video to make and I'm excited to try and track all those metrics again this year, just so that I can see how much I grew next year. But as I was putting together that video and as I was trying to think about where I wanted to take my business this year, I decided to sit down and do a little working session and come up with some larger brand goals that I can then make smaller goals each month so that I could attain those larger goals for my business. So today we are going to talk through some of those larger, broader goals for the year and just kind of talk about some of my ideas that I have for my business that I'm pretty excited about. So I do just want to preface this with kind of talking a little bit about the history of my business in case you are new here. So I started my business back at the end of 2022, and I actually started mostly selling stickers out of this business, which I know sounds kind of weird, but I decided that I wanted to create kind of a really fun brand that included all of my favorite hobbies. So I called it Sticky Kitten Crafts because everything I make is either sticky, like the stickers, or made out of sticks. I know it sounds stupid, but I just thought it was funny, and I really just like the name. So that was how my brand was born. Again, I did that back in fall of 2022. During 2023, I was pretty much selling fully on Etsy, and I had a good amount of sales on Etsy, but most of them were stickers. I didn't sell a lot of crochet items on Etsy. I had a lot of them posted on there, but didn't really have good traction on that front. And then unfortunately in fall of 2023, my Etsy shop got taken down. I got no warnings, no nothing. Etsy just completely took down my shop one day. Couldn't get an answer as to why. I submitted multiple appeals, never heard back from them. So with that, Etsy was just kind of taken off the table for me. So I had to pivot a lot in 2024 and figure out kind of how I wanted to sell my products and how I wanted to market my business. So in 2024, I pivoted. I built out a Shopify store. I also started selling my products in person. So I had my first in-person market back in May of last year, and then did, I think like 4 more. I think I did 5 or 6 total markets last year. So that was kind of how I ended up pivoting. If you watch my last video, you can kind of see how I did at my markets and also how I did in my online shop. I don't want to ruin it here, but just so you'll go and watch that video. But my online shop definitely did not do very well. And so this year, part of my focus will be on really kind of trying to build out that online experience for my customers and trying to get people that I meet in person to go online, view my shop, and become kind of like a long-term customer. So that's kind of where my business has been, and now we will talk about where we want it to go. And again, if you want to kind of get a better idea of where I'm at with my business and what I did last year, definitely go check out my 2024 wrapped video that I put out just before this one. That will definitely give you some better idea of how my business has been going. So with that, we'll talk through my goals for the year. So I have kind of 3 categories. So I have these like larger kind of brand goals, some market specific goals, and then some engagement goals. So for my larger brand goals, one of the things that I really want to do is try and host a crochet class. I'm either going to probably try to do this at my local library, or maybe there will be some other opportunity that comes up. If you've done an in-person class before, definitely let me know. I'm super curious how it went and just kind of how you set it up. So definitely let me know down below, or you can DM me on Instagram or TikTok or something. But definitely really interested in maybe trying to hold a little beginner crochet class. the second thing I would like to do is expand a lot of my how-to content on YouTube. Back when I first started, I did quite a few how-to videos, but I haven't really done much with it since. I would kind of like to expand that out just so that people who come to my channel who are maybe interested in learning to crochet or newer at it will have some resources available. I kind of want to focus more on like fun and unique stitches because I know that's the content that I'm always looking for. I find that a lot of times, like if I am trying to do a difficult stitch, I can usually find a video that's helpful, but if I can't, hopefully I can like figure out how to do it and then make a good video about how to do it so others can benefit from it too. So that's the second thing. The third thing that I really want to try to expand is some of my offerings on both my website and at my markets to include like more than crochet. So this is a broad goal and can really mean anything, but I think we'll kind of see where it goes. I wanted to keep it broad so that I could let my creative juices flow a little bit this year and maybe explore some new like crafting realms and see what I might enjoy kind of adding as additional streams of income within my larger Sticky Kitten brand. Some of the things I'm kind of thinking about are doing more knitting projects. I really like knitting, but it takes me a long time to knit just because I'm not as fast at it, but maybe expanding out, doing some knitting. I also want to include a lot more patterns and doing more tapestry kind of pieces. That's still crochet, but kind of tangentially just like selling patterns. Some other things I was thinking about might be like tote bags and shirts. Those are things that I had when I was selling on Etsy, but haven't really tried to get them as much on my website. So maybe trying to expand some of that content out as well. I actually did just purchase a Cricut heat press. My fiance had a project that he wanted me to do, and I had kind of been thinking about getting a heat press for a long time, but just never really had a reason to. But now that I got the larger heat press, I think I'm gonna try and see what other fun things I can make or how I can incorporate some like Cricut heat pressing into my crochet items. I'm not sure how that will go or what that will look like. I did make some cat hats a couple of years ago for the Super Bowl, and they had the little logos on them, and that worked out pretty well. So just trying to think about additional things that I can do to elevate my crochet and, you know, give it some differentiation, I guess. That will be cool. And then the last thing I really wanted to try and do this year was have one launch per month for themed items. I'm getting ready to launch my first launch of the themed launch of the year, if you will, next week. I don't want to ruin the surprise yet of what I'm going to be dropping, but kind of wanted to just make a bunch of items around certain themes and then post them on my website as kind of like a limited time drop. This will be a good way to test out products, I think, and then if they don't sell on my website, I'll just bring them to my market and see how, you know, kind of how they sell there. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited, and I'm excited to explore different themes. I think that some of my themes will all be like items that you can use in certain settings or for certain things, while other themes might just be like turtles or something, you know, like that's just something I made up. But I'm gonna again use the term theme pretty loosely, and we'll see how those drops go. And some might also be related to holidays and things if there's good items to make related to those holidays. So those are some of my like kind of larger brand goals. As you can see, they are pretty broad, but I'm kind of wanted it that way so that I could, you know, try a bunch of different things, but feel empowered because they are within my goals to explore new areas or do new things. So those are the larger brand goals. Next, I want to talk about my market goals. So as I mentioned before, in 2024, that was my first year of doing markets, and they went pretty well for me. In my 2024 wrapped video, I kind of talk about how I was a little bit discouraged by my numbers in 2024, but I think I'm being a little bit hard on myself because it was my first year and I really didn't do that many markets. And one of my markets was like almost a complete bust. So, which I was kind of expecting. So in that sense, like I think I did pretty well, but I do just want to kind of continue to grow out that market success and, continue that growth. So last year I did 5 markets. This year, I want to up that number to 7. I'm hoping I'll do even more than that, but we're almost at the end of January right now, and I didn't do a market this month. I likely won't do one in February either. It's a short month, and I kind of have some other things going on that I need to focus on in my life, so I probably won't do one in February, but I'm going to use the end of this month as well as February to get prepped, so I'm ready for a March market. So we'll start in March this year, which is a little earlier. Last year, I did my first market in May. I will say in the summertime here in Georgia, it's very hard to do markets because it's usually really hot. So I'm going to try to knock out probably 3 or 4 before summertime, and then I'll take a break and then put the rest of my markets at the end of the year towards kind of like that fall Christmassy time. We'll see how that goes. But that's my general goal, is to do 7 markets. I also, this is a lofty goal, but I would like to bring a minimum of $5,000 in inventory to each of my markets. I'm going to have to really build out a lot of stuff in order to do that, but I really want to have a lot of variety to my display this year, and I really want to kind of change it up a little bit. So in the past, I have pretty much only sold like children's plushies, but I want to kind of expand out my assortment, and this goes right into my next goal. I want to expand out my assortment to include more items for adults. At my last market, I had this guy come up and he was like, "What's the best item you have to sell?" And I had like this really nice pillow and he bought it. Again, I talk about that in my last video and you can see what the pillow looks like in there, but that kind of gave me some juice to be like, okay, I should really expand out my assortment so that other people, not just kids, can find something that they might like within my booth. So I'm definitely thinking about, making things that more adults would want to purchase as opposed to only kids. This is going to be a hard goal, but I wanted to really also try to make a few more long-term customers. So I have a couple of people that have been to my booth a couple of times, like they follow me on social media, and I really, really love that. But I really kind of want to expand that out and get some people that really love me, love my brand, and want to support it. So that's another kind of goal that I have. I think that will be difficult to kind of just do, but it's something that I'm really hoping to get out of 2025. And then last kind of bigger category I have for my goals is engagement. So over this last year, I have done quite a bit on social media, but I definitely want to really build that out and expand on that. So a couple of things that I'm going to try and do are post more regularly on TikTok and post more fun content. A lot of times I am falling into the trap of just posting what I'm selling. If I have a new launch, if I just posted a new pattern, I fell into the trap of only posting about those things. Or if I just did a market, I'll post about that. That's definitely different than me just trying to get people to buy my patterns and stuff, but definitely want to become a face that people recognize and get more followers on TikTok. Right now I have, I think, about 700 followers on TikTok. So I want to try and expand this year to have about 5,000 followers on TikTok. As long as TikTok is still around. I made this goal list back before they were talking about banning TikTok. So we'll see how that goes. But also want to continue to grow my following on Instagram. Instagram has been really hard for me to grow. I have gotten basically no traction on Instagram, so kind of need to figure out what I want to do over there to make it more enticing for people. So definitely gonna try and focus on Instagram. I set the goal lower for Instagram. I think I only have maybe 100 followers on Instagram or something, so I want to get up to around 2,000 on Instagram by the end of the year. YouTube has been growing pretty well for me, but not the best. Again, I think I have 200 followers on Instagram, or right around there. I would love to get to around 1,000 followers on Instagram or YouTube. I would love to have 1,000 followers on YouTube. I have about 200 right now. I would love to get up to around 1,000 by the end of the year. And I think that will honestly just be me posting more regularly. When I tend to get busy, I forget to make videos or post. I do a lot of filming that I never end up posting. I need to be better within myself, just figuring out what works for me. Like maybe doing a full week vlog doesn't work for me, but I could do like a single day and dedicate myself to doing that. So we'll see how that goes. I also kind of just need to be more creative with what kind of content I want to make. I feel like I'm not super creative sometimes about what kind of content I'm filming. So I think that's sometimes why my videos fall flat, but that's okay. We're going to work on it, see how it goes. And then last thing I had, again, just another goal for myself, post at least one time per week on each of my accounts. I think we're going to start that one in February because I haven't started yet, and it is now like the third week of January, so I definitely need to like just get in the mode and start doing it and see how it goes. But those are my overall goals. A couple of my other just kind of random to-do list items that I want to get done in the beginning of this year are cleaning up my website, figuring out my inventory, and just trying to get more traffic over to my website. I had previously been doing a lot of like Pinterest and Pinterest ads, trying to get people onto my website that way. Also Instagram and TikTok. None of those things really seem to be working for me, so I think I need to dig into the SEO on my website and maybe try to get more organic or like search traffic through SEO. So yeah, just generally cleaning up my website. I also have found that with Shopify, if you use Shopify and if you have a better way to track your inventory, let me know down below. But right now I have my Shopify set up so that I have kind of like a home store and then like a market prep store. So my market prep store is the one that I use for when I go out to markets, and that's like the inventory I pull from in my app, if that makes sense. And then for my home inventory, I set that up so that I could like sell things kind of pre-order-ish. And on all my, I think on most of my crochet items, I've included a blurb that says like, this item is a pre-order. Like if you order it, I will start making it and it might take a couple of weeks, something like that. So yeah, I think I might just merge them. I don't know. I haven't decided how I want to do all my inventory yet, but the reason I had them again differently was just because I have items on my website that I want people to be able to order, but I will make them like once they order them. I don't just have them in stock. So yeah. So that's another thing I just need to kind of like figure out and deal with in the next couple of like weeks and decide how I want to manage everything. Yeah. So that is my 2025 goals. We will review this video at the end of the year and see if I was able to meet all of these goals. I'm not sure that I will, but it's a good start, and I like that I now have some sort of direction to follow. It feels good to know that like these are the things that I want starting out the year. I can always expand them. I can always, add additional goals if something else comes up. But this will give me a good like North Star to kind of guide my different projects and things that I'm working on to get to these goals. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was kind of helpful. I know that my goals are not necessarily super exciting, but I always love to hear kind of how people want to grow and expand their business, and I find it very helpful just to see what other people are doing, and that way I can think about other things that I can do to grow and expand. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like I said, I'm gonna try to be posting 1 time per week, and I'm not quite sure what exactly my vlogs will look like throughout the year, but I'm hoping that I will have some interesting and fun videos, especially as I'm moving through market prepping, doing some new markets, and trying to expand my Shopify. So we'll see how that goes. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.